Pay attention. Damn. Humans.
At least he was old.
Oy.
You get like a slight pass, I feel like, if you've got white hair.
People are bad enough drivers at a young age, let alone getting older.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I love being a tester for the self-driving systems, because, man, get these crazy humans out of the driver's seat.
Oh, yeah, that would... Oh, I'm looking forward to that so much.
The car's actually driving itself now.
Oh, that's so cool.
So this is the full self-driving beta.
Okay.
So it's actually stopping, targeting that car in blue to wait, yield for this turn. Actually, we're not turning yet. Never mind. My brain was like we were, but no, we're going down here first. But yeah, this is Tesla's FSD Beta.
This is so cool. I've never been in one of these before. All right. Well, I mean, you know, maybe they have a suggestion box about the handles, but other than that, this is pretty...
Right. Hey, that's a fair point. Those door handles are weird.
I mean, it doesn't really seem like it. If it had some, like, special functionality, I would get it.
It does. Like, it's aerodynamics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because...
Okay.
To some degree. I mean, most door handles and wing mirrors, like our typical mirrors, are another good example of just basically resistance to drag, which creates inefficiencies in range and such. And it's just a way to streamline the body of the car to create as much of a laminar flow as possible, which is kind of like the idea of like air going over a wing, you know, and less turbulence.
Yeah. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better about it then, not just like, oh, we're having a door that opens this way to make our
We're just trying to be fancy or something.
Exactly.
The Model S is actually quite a bit better in the sense that the handles actually just popped out for you, like they completely articulated outwards.
Gotcha.
But you know, that's the more expensive Tesla. You know, it's one of those extra features you get. This one's like, nah, figure it out. You gotta do it yourself. So
do you work for Tesla, or are you just part of like one of their programs?
Yeah, I'm just part of the beta program.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few of us now. As of October of last year, they started spreading the beta out to owners and vetting us based on our safety with their metrics to make sure that they weren't giving it to someone who would be
just
reckless. Yeah, exactly. So far on this particular part of the software, we are clean, no accidents.
Awesome.
Trying to keep it that way with safe testing. You saw with the gentleman who pulled out in front of us how quickly the chime, this that was me taking over and hitting the brakes.
Oh, interesting.
Because the beta might have done it and stopped, but that was a scenario where I just wouldn't even think to give it the chance to do that, because I saw that this guy was possibly going to come out in front of us.
Yeah.
So I took over, and that wasn't really, I didn't report that to Tesla because I have a little camera that lets me like report when it messes up, like maybe right here because it's getting confused with this really bright, weird bike lane.
Yeah.
It has
I can see the little line where it's like,
that's like its brain. That's where it wants to go.
Okay.
And it's funny because like there's this, what's the point of this raised median?
Oh my god, it's got the guy walking over.
Oh yeah, it can see
cool.
people, bicyclists, pretty much everything around it with cameras. This is everything it's seeing, and then actually like labeling what things are, like SUVs, cars, people.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, the system's gotten pretty crazy. Well, there's like these weird little edge cases like right here with this, I don't know, I'm sure somebody knows the point of this little median concrete thing sticking up. And obviously this is for, you know, a bike lane. But there's a lot of strangely designed things that make you question the city planning part of it. Like, what was the objective here? I'm not quite sure.
I don't know. I'm from Miami, so I'm like, this is amazing compared
so hopefully,
to Miami.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Miami is just a hot mess.
All right. Let's see. It should just hop in here perfectly fine. There we go.
Crazy.
It'll wait.
The other thing I will say is, I mean, maybe self-driving cars will get so smart that you do not need an oh shit handle, but I feel like I still need one.
That is kind of an understandable complaint in Teslas, is we don't have those handles. Yeah. Yep. You kind of just have to grab the door and like this is not the same. No, I've seen that before. Especially too if somebody asks to see the power, because these things are notoriously quick. And every now and then when someone wants to, and I'll punch it, and they're like trying to reach for stuff. They're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. There's nothing to grab. See, it sees a cyclist and it's blue, meaning it's waiting to see what he's gonna do. He's trying to be extra safe here. And these two cyclists as well.
But does it really know about like so it does really good with the four-way stops? Or
typically, just, like, except when humans are doing what they're doing, which is just running through. Good job, everybody. See, the car finally went after that guy. It's almost too courteous. Yeah. To where, I mean, the priority is safety.
Exactly.
And with that, all of the silly apes are just going to keep doing this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I love it.
I was like, yes.
That is awesome. Alrighty.
Taking notes?
I log all of my trips because you might be familiar with the term. I'm a full self-driving beta tester.
Oh,
So
excellent.
I've got the City Streets beta.
This is amazing.
Would you like to see if it can do the trip?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. So here we go. This latest software has been pretty good in the San Diego area. Yeah,
good.
It's handling about 65 to 70% of customer trips, which is pretty nutty.
Wow.
It's peeking ahead now to make sure it's clear. There it goes.
Okay, this is the best because we have the full self-driving on our car.
Oh, perfect.
And it's,
so you can see the difference.
Yes.
Or I guess the next level.
The next step,
you know,
I guess.
This is the thing that eventually, like on the Tesla page, it's like soon city streets. It's like this is
it.
Soon is very arbitrary,
right?
Because we don't know.
Which we know.
Like, yeah, we'll have to apply the Elon time there.
Exactly.
But
the steering wheel is fascinating to me, though.
Yeah, I changed that out back in December.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got to drive a couple of the new S's and stuff.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with the way the yoke felt. And the second that I saw that we could do this, I jumped on it.
You're like, yes, please.
Yep. It was really easy too. I did it myself. I just popped the airbag off, changed the wheel, and put the airbag back in. Wow. Took me about an hour and some change because I didn't have some of the tools I needed right away, so I could have to go back and forth to O'Reilly's. Huh. But I love it. I will not be going back. It's so nice.
That's awesome.
Takes a little getting used to because you don't have the top, so your first couple of drives you might misfire. You know, like, oh wait, there's nothing there.
Yeah, totally. I can see that.
You get used to it. Your brain kind of rewires. And
well, I mean, driving a Tesla in general, you're like rewiring your brain how to drive.
That's a fair point, especially with regen. That's like what throws people off the most.
Yeah.
It's like they take their foot off and like, whoa, why are we slowing down?
Totally. Well, I get him. My husband also has a truck right now because we're waiting for the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Obviously. But we, you know, I get in a normal gas car and I'm like, how do you drive this thing?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
Man. Here we go, right on red. Oh, bus lane. Come on, fix yourself, fix yourself. Yes! Oh, it didn't get in the bus lane. That's an improvement, because before it would, and it was like, come on, you can't do that.
You like, can't do that.
Very nice.
Most of the struggle we have with our self-driving right now is that when there's a fork or some, like the lane gets bigger in some form or fashion, it doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, and it kind of does that like wavy thing.
Sort of
it's really common. There's a lane coming onto the 805 north over here from the 8, and it's just like it just gets really obnoxiously wide. Yeah. And the car's like, okay, where do I go? It doesn't
know where to go.
We're just gonna start doing the wave.
Totally.
And everyone around you is probably like, what is this guy doing?
There's one part where we're going to Del Mar that if we're in full self-driving mode, it just completely stops.
In Del Mar?
Yeah. Like on the 5 going north.
Really?
It's really freaky. It's happened to us 3 times in the same exact spot.
Do you know where? I would love to go over there and like recreate that scenario to see if it's any different from my software. Because I mean, so you'll see when we get on the highway, we're still running the old NOA code, like the public build.
Okay.
And I'm curious, like if the beta's public build is any different than a non-beta tester's public build.
Oh, interesting.
And I don't think there is any difference, but I want to see.
So if you're on the 5 going north, and you're right where the like racetrack is. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The fairgrounds, the Del Mar. Yeah.
Yep. It's right in that area. It's always in the 3rd lane that it happens.
The 3rd lane from the right, like before the carpool lane.
So you're not in the carpool lane. You're the one over.
Okay, the passing lane. That's the last spot you want to come to a stop.
That has freaked us out multiple times, but the 3rd time I was like, we were ready for it. We were like, okay, is this gonna happen?
And it's been repeatable.
It has repeated. Yep, same exact spot.
So like a stop, not just like a phantom brake where it hits the brakes, but like, wow, that is really interesting. I really want to see if my car will do that.
Yeah.
And I really want to play around with the highway through Del Mar.
Yeah.
To see if that happens to me.
I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, because I usually cruise in the carpool lane there, because I'll go up to Carlsbad to work out with my buddy and at 24 Hour Fitness up there. So I'm always going down that route. Yep. But I've never had that issue, so I want to see for science.
Yeah, please do.
That'll be awesome. And technically, and this is something just good for any Tesla owner to know, is that our ADAS system is classified level 2, which is the same as cruise control, adaptive cruise control. So we're not subject to any new regulation yet, because Tesla hasn't officially entered level 3, and then 4 and 5, which is the real next level stuff.
Well, I mean, you're still sitting in the driver's seat.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, if someone smart, that's a different conversation.
Exactly, yeah.
But yes.
But it's a lot of fun though. I love being able to like actually see if the whole idea of robo-taxis can be done.
Actually done, yeah.
And from what I've gathered through the data so far, with it being able to complete trips, it's a proof of concept. It's just a matter of getting to that reliability to where it's like, okay, now you don't need a driver.
Well, I mean, half of it, honestly, if like all of the cars were self-driving, like,
bingo.
You know, that's one thing.
Yeah.
When you are, when you're with other humans do stupid things.
All day.
it's having a self-driving respond to human stupid things.
Which is also very impressive that it can.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a level of concern that won't be there when most of, or at least half of the cars can operate autonomously or with enough safety features that can communicate with one another.
Yep.
Very nice. I like now it's not lingering too long at stop signs. It's actually like, we're here and we're going.
That's nice.
Before, it would kind of sit there like, should we go? I don't know. Somebody might come up in the next 10 minutes. I don't know.
So how does this work for you? This is your car, but you're like, hey, I will sign up for this?
Pretty much. So remember, you've probably heard of like the button, like the FSD Beta button.
Yeah.
And in September, that finally went to anyone with full self-driving. So you should have that button.
Yep.
And
we do.
When you hit that and you accept it, you give Tesla permission to fully monitor your driving, your G-force, your safety score.
Right.
You know, to measure how you drive to get your liability. That was basically all it was, is just signing up, passing their credentials for liability reasons and safety and operation. Yep. Because you definitely need to think a different way when you're operating a technology like this. You can't really think like a human. You need to think like a machine that's being hyper safe and unsure. Yeah. And you can probably relate being a Tesla owner with full self-driving, that your car kind of has like its own mood.
It does.
And you can feel when it's like losing confidence or shaky. And we need people that can actually attune to that, so that way you can take over if like there's a car right there. It's like you're paying attention. Yep. Yeah, it has a hard time with this kind of downtown suburban area, and downtown itself is just really bad. Yeah. When it can handle downtown, I think it'll be game time.
Totally. With
all the crazy one-ways and people jumping out in the street and scooters and cyclists and
all the things coming at you. Yeah.
Everything coming at you.
They all have a steering wheel like that?
No, this is aftermarket. I did this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've had this yoke since December of last year. I had the privilege of driving some of the newer S's and X's. They come with a yoke. And they also don't have drive stock, so they've moved the turn signals and everything to capacitive buttons on the yoke, kind of like a game controller. It's interesting. You'll see here the wheel turning on its own.
Okay, so is that part of the standard, or is that something you have to upgrade?
Not quite this level. So you have standard autopilot that comes with the car for free, that's basically cruise control in one lane with all of the ability to adapt. Then you have full self-driving that's a step up from that, the really expensive software package that you can either subscribe to or pay for outright. And that gives you on the highway the ability to change lanes and the ability to stop at lights and such. This is a step beyond that. This is the full self-driving beta city streets that can actually do everything else. It can turn, execute, turns at stop signs, stop lights, residential, pretty much the rest of the puzzle. Right here, it needs to decelerate, change lanes. It's highlighting that that's its target lane. And then this left turn should be rather flawless. Except I just said that, so. Pretty good.
It's freaking amazing.
More often than not, it completes customer trips without me really getting involved. Really? Right now, it's approaching a 70% success rate, which is ridiculously high compared to what I was predicting.
How do you know that?
I log everything.
Oh,
yeah, every trip I do all day since October. And I compile all that into data that I present on my YouTube channel for people.
Stay in the left.
Oh yeah, this is where I got to take over, because this is a unique case where it's not this is something that autonomous cars will have to figure out at some point. Oh, I guess an autonomous taxi would probably just wait for you over here outside the gate.
Yeah, these started about 70,000.
Actually they started at about 47,000 for this car. It was down to 37 before the pandemic and supply chain issues and the world went crazy.
That's not bad, actually.
Oh yeah, my wife's Model Y, we got it at 49.9. Now unfortunately it's almost 63 for the one we got.
What's the difference, the Y?
So that's like a crossover, similar to like a RAV4. It's basically this, just bigger. You know, it has a 7-seat option, full power hatch, off-road, payload.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I love that thing. I'm a full self-driving beta tester, so I put it through the runs to see how it can handle random customer trips.
Mm-hmm.
So far today, it's only failed one trip, and it was really not even that bad. It didn't get over into a turning lane quite quick enough. Little bit of an error on decision making, but even here, it's targeting this car that it's waiting.
Yeah.
And then now it knows to go ahead and carry through. It yields better than most humans do.
Right.
But that's where it can be kind of a challenge, because people will just keep on going because humans.
Yeah.
The car is like, hey, it's my turn, guys. It really kicks butt in Carlsbad, Oceanside, San Marcos. Most of my trips up here are all successes. The failure was like in La Jolla, kind of near the college.
Not a good area.
It does pretty well over there, but yeah, there's some spots that get a little tripped up.
Yeah, definitely.
The little kid is fixated. He's like, Mom, Tesla, what is that? How does it feel from your perspective? If I didn't say anything, would you have known that it wasn't me?
No, I kind of figured it wasn't you. I didn't really see your hands on the wheel or anything, so I was like, okay, I think he's like auto driving.
So I gave it away. A little too obvious.
I kind of figured it.
There we go.
Bit.
I like to play around with how obvious I make it to see if people go like, wait, what? Like, question mark? What's happening?
I also saw the little like notification at the bottom on the left. That was like it said like auto yield or something.
Oh yeah, autopilot waiting for time. Oh, you're very observant. Most people don't catch that kind of thing. Oh, speed bump. Are we slowing down? We are. Cool.
Nice.
So it used to depict the speed bumps. Now it doesn't, but it does still decelerate, which is good, because a lot of people were worried that now it's just gonna run through them. And apparently there are some speed bumps the car doesn't quite see. Like, we're kind of hitting this one, but that's
right?
That one's not really that bad.
Nah.
I've been over these speed bumps so many times that I kind of know, like, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
But there are some areas with dips and speed bumps where I'm like, no, you better slow down, or I'll just take over, because it's very quick.
If you press on the brake, does it like go back to your...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's just like disengaging cruise control. I can show you that fast. I'm already driving.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what's good about being a tester, is that if, like, right now it decided to turn in front of this car, I can just grab the wheel and we're good. Yeah, like, versus if you had to, like, I don't know, jump in a circle, say a magic word, type in a full sentence or something.
Right.
Like, authorization codes. No, it's quick, you know. Take over right away.
Yeah.
And I would never do this with customers if I wasn't confident in its safety.
Right. No, I agree.
Your safety is my priority.
Yeah.
You can see its kind of thought process is that blue line. And I also used that out of the corner of my eye to see if it's tracking the proper path.
Right.
Because there are very, very, very rare cases, only maybe once or twice in my usage over 300 or over 290 hours with the system, where it's like went to go into oncoming traffic. And I'm there to say nope and report it back to Tesla. That way they can be like, okay, for whatever reason, this particular intersection threw it off.
Interesting.
That's also why they don't give it to just anybody.
Yeah.
Not yet. Eventually it's supposed to go wide, which is a little intimidating, because I don't think personally as a beta tester that it's ready for every Tesla owner to have access to.
I don't think so. Yeah, not everybody is gonna be cool with this,
or as attentive and ready. Yeah, I agree. I mean, just a couple of cases where we've had people on the regular highway autopilot get into accidents because they get complacent.
Yeah.
And they get over trusting, and they do something and it's like, well, great. Now even though it's your fault, everyone's gonna come down on Tesla for it.
Yeah, you still have to pay attention. It's
Yep.
Like, you're just like hands in the air, like.
Yeah, exactly. The only way to get to that point is by safely testing the system to where it's legally regulated to that level.
Yeah.
And that takes time, a lot of time.
Very much. So are you getting paid to test?
No, it's more a privilege to be a tester. One that, like, there is no shortage of desire to do.
Yeah.
Man, when that button request came up back in September, we all hit it.
I know, right?
And then they give Tesla permission to basically monitor our driving to make sure we weren't crazy. And you have to, as of right now, have a safety score of at least 98 out of 100 on their safety metrics to get the system.
Okay.
And they've kind of slowed down how they update and roll it out now that there's about 100,000 of us beta testers all over the country, and some in Canada now.
Oh my God.
So they're getting data from here, from all over the United States. You pick a place, there's probably a beta tester. And there's a Rivian R1T. That's the second one.
Truck?
Yes. Oh, that is so beautiful.
That's cool.
That's the second one I've seen
I've
today.
never seen one in person.
They just started delivering.
Do
Oh
they
my
really?
gosh, get out of the way, Kia. I can't see the Rivian.
Right?
So that's a brand new, basically a second Tesla. I say that kind of loosely because they're trucks and they're very new, and that's about a $90,000 truck
Oh my god.
right now, just because of it. Look at that.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's the same guy. I saw him earlier. Okay. That makes sense. I've seen, yesterday I saw, actually he's the guy I saw yesterday, because the guy I saw today had a hat and sunglasses on and didn't have a beard. That guy had a beard. And yesterday I saw him, I lowered my window and gave him a thumbs up, and we were both like doing the whole head bob.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh man.
I have a Prius plug-in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and every time I see other plugins, I'm like,
What's up, plug-in fam?
Right?
Oh man, it's so cool to see a Rivian in the wild, as
Oh,
we'd
that's
say.
so cool, dude.
I really hope they're successful because it's a beautiful truck. It's got great customer reviews. I'm rooting for them because the electric truck world is a big deal.
Yeah, definitely.
So I just like nerded out to
No,
the
like
nth
I love
degree
Teslas.
there.
Like they're so cool. And when I saw that you were driving a Tesla, I was like, oh, sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
It's the future I want.
I know, right? Definitely.
Now I want some Texas Roadhouse. Dang. Oh.
We open at 3.
Hey, there we go.